So, everybody, nice to see you. Are we all waiting for Santa Claus to come with presents or something, or? Well, he's here now. No, I'm not meaning me. The best present you can give to yourself is your freedom. Mm. So we start at the same way as usual. So many people coming the day before Christmas Eve. It's nice. So we start as usual with the guided meditation and the enlightenment activation. For those who wants to have this enlightenment activation, you just have the video on. And for those who doesn't know what activation means, it means that the pure being, so to speak, from here, is enlivening the pure being within you on an individual level. You just keep the video on if you want to have this. So, okay. We just sit comfortable now and closing our eyes. And just letting this moment be exactly as it already is. Everything which is here now is allowed to be exactly as it is. We're not pushing away anything, not grabbing anything specific, not analyzing anything now, not searching for anything, not trying to fix anything, not investigating, not looking for something. We're just sitting here, allowing this moment to be exactly as it is already. Not interested in something specific. Even thoughts are allowed to be here. Thoughts are a part of this meditation. We don't try to push away thoughts. We don't try to quiet them or something. We are simply not interested in them. But they can be here in the background. And if they grab attention very much, we can just remember the instruction. Oh, it's an interesting thought, but just now, during this meditation, I'm not interested in it, but I can think about it afterwards. This is how we treat everything coming. Emotions arising, we treat it in the same way. We don't try to fix it or run away from it or ignore it. We just here, sitting here. We don't try to be here even. We're just sitting here, allowing this moment to be exactly as it already is. Not interested in anything specific and doing absolutely nothing. And then the activation will start. We just allow this moment to be exactly as it is already, not pushing anything away, not interested in anything specific, and doing absolutely nothing.
to go.
Can take 1 or 2 minutes to come out of meditation. You can keep your eyes closed. We will do it an experiment soon. So with your eyes closed, maybe you see some kind of stillness inside. You reach some kind of place of silence, some kind of state of just being here, state of being, just living. And in that place of this stillness, I want you to look if you can see any responsible me there. If you can see a responsible person, an I, in its place of silence. And if you can see it, that there is no responsible person in this silence. There is no person grabbing attention that life should be in a certain way. There is no person who is worrying about the future. There is no person who is questioning the present moment or wants to improve it. And there is no person who wants to control something. And there is no person worrying to make a right decision. And there is no person who is not good enough, whatever it is in your case, negative beliefs about yourself. In this place of silence, just being here, just existing, we don't see that responsible person. But then we come out from our meditation to daily life. Then suddenly another reality shows. A responsible person. The belief in that person that needs to fix life. A belief in a personal me that needs to improve this present moment. A belief in a person who's worrying about the future. A belief in a person who is not good enough. Not worthy of being enlightened. These beliefs are grabbing attention when we come out from meditation. So now the crucial, interesting point arises. And if you want to, you can open your eyes. Because we can ask ourselves, what should we believe in? What is the truth here? In this meditative state, there is no responsible person seen. When we observe, when we look, when we investigate, we don't see that responsible person who needs to fix life or whatever it is. But then, when we come out to meditation, the daily activity, there is a belief that there is a person here who needs to fix life. So what are you going to lean to then? What is your trust here? Is it what you see when you observe, no responsible me seen, or what you think, what you believe, which is coming in your head? It's a little bit of a choice, so to speak. Should I believe what the thinking is saying to me? That there is some kind of person here who is responsible for everything, who needs to fix life and do things all the time? Or should I believe what I see when I observe in the stillness? I don't see that one. So it's up to you, so to speak. What is your trust here? We usually believe what we observe, if that is colliding with the thinking. Krister is not on the screen. That is a thought which is here now, let's say, imagining it, coming. Krister is not on the screen. But the observation is that Krister is on the screen. And then we usually give more authority, trust more what we experience, what we observe, if it's colliding, it's collision with the thinking. So in this case, it's the same. Are we going to believe the thought that there is a responsible me that needs to fix life and who's not good enough? Or should you lean to what you actually see during meditation? There is no responsible me. It's up to you. What we experience and see during meditation is how it is when we don't believe the thoughts. And what we experience and see with our perception and so on when we're out in daily activity is what we believe the thinking says. But if you trust what you see instead of think, if you trust what you actually observe when you see, when you look in the meditative state, if you trust that more, why on earth should you go on believing the thought that you are a responsible person in the story? This can also be used as a tool. I just mentioned this, quite important actually, because it means that if you can, so to speak, buy this little bit investigation we just did, that it seems that the personal responsible me is a thought only, because I can't see it when I meditate. Then you can use this as a tool. Because if you have this meditative state, also in the background, little bit, 1% is enough. In daily activity, if this presence or pure being, just being here, living, existing, if that place is there, very little, but is there in activity, in the background, so to speak, then you have access to both realities then. You have access to that reality which says that there is a personal me, a belief system which says so, but you also have access to the truth. If it's there at least 1%, so to speak, then you can go to that true place. Whenever the thinking, the me, the responsible me, the fixing me, the controlling me, the protesting me arising, you can go to that place of stillness which is behind it all with open eyes. We don't go to meditative cave here. We're seeing it in the daily activity. We go to that place and just look. You have to look. It's not a memory now. It's not a thought. It's not a theory. It's not a teaching. You look in the situation and you see that there is no responsible me there. You just realize that. Oh, but when I look, I don't see that responsible me here. I thought it was here. It gives me emotional reactions, tension in the body, negative thoughts about me and others, based on the belief that there is a me who needs to fix life and who's not good enough, protesting against what is in the moment. But when I look in the true state which we have available in the background, we see that it's not there. And then the miracle happens. Because if you can do this, if you have access to that place inside in daily activity, a little bit in the background, then the emotion will go down. The tension in the body will go down. The negative beliefs about yourself and others will vanish because you are coming to the true state. You're seeing how it really is. And then the illusion goes away. The ignorance. And that which is triggered by this belief in a person, the emotions, tension in the body, and other negative beliefs, they're just gone because they are illusions. They are real when they are there, but they are built on illusion of a personal responsible me. This is the quickest way to come to enlightenment, in my experience. To go directly to the truth and see that I don't see this one that the thinking is talking about. I open for questions. And sorry there's no Russian translation today because it's Saturday. But you're welcome to be here anyway, of course. Any questions or comments around this? Yes, Fritz. Yeah. Welcome.
Thanks. So most of the time, people, well, let me put it this way. Most of the time when people are aware of their surroundings, they're awake, they're not sleeping. And most of the time, let's say sensory input is coming at us, and that activates the mind. And because this is what most people spend most of their conscious time, let's say, involved in, that tends to be the predominant sense of what's going on
Mm-hmm.
internally.
Mm-hmm.
So, so that tends to reinforce this sense of a personal me. So it isn't, in a way, that kind of the problem. It's like we tend to put more stock in what our predominant experience is. So kind of, and I know this is part of what you were addressing, but isn't, in a way, isn't that kind of the problem?
The problem is actually not the thinking. Or the problem, no, is the problem is not the experience is coming. They're not the problem. Any experience is not reinforcing the personal me belief. If you hear the sound of this voice coming, it is not reinforcing a belief of a person in itself, single, as one single phenomena rising and falling. But if there is before this sound of this voice is coming, if there is an idea about me, which was created when you were 2, 3 years old, and becomes a personal center, which everything goes through, then every experience is also connected to that person. I wouldn't say reinforcing it, but it goes through that filter. I am listening to this sound. Mm. It's not only an experience anymore, as it was when we were children, before we start to interpret it in thinking terms. It was just a sound. And it's still just a sound. It's the same sound. It's just that we have been trained to believe that there is a me experiencing the sound. It is my experience of a sound rising within me. So without the filter of a me created once upon a time, so to speak, far back in time, that the experience in itself are not loaded with any me belief. They are just, so to speak, neutral when it comes to belief what it is. A sound is a sound, a seeing experience is a seeing experience, and so on. Feeling is a feeling. But it becomes a problem when it is connected to a responsible me who don't want some experiences. And is protesting against that this shouldn't be like this in this present moment. And I have to fix my life. A little bit more abstract then. It's not only perception, but it's there. So the problem is the creation of this personal me in the first place. But as we said before in other sessions, maybe that is something which is more or less necessary for a child to have some kind of shield around, some kind of protection, some kind of defense. But later on, it doesn't have any function really. When we are adulthood, we can just understand, but this is just some kind of function of the thinking mind. That was needed then maybe, but it's not needed anymore. Now I can live in total openness without any personal me as a center where everything goes through first as a censorship before it becomes conscious. You want to comment on this, Fritz?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. Thank
Thank you.
you. Someone else have something? If you could understand what we talked about by looking on the presence or being level to see that there is no person me there, even though we feel that it is. We think that it is. Then you maybe understand also the importance of meditation, or in any way you don't have to meditate formally, but to be still To be still, to come to this quiet place inside in whatever way you do it, swimming or going in the forest or whatever. The importance of establishing that silent place inside, which all teachers talk about. Because that is the true place. And when that true place is getting more and more established, so it is not lost during activity, then it's much easier to see that this belief in me, the fixer me, the responsible me, is nothing else than just a belief, because we have access to the truth at the same time. We're living on two levels, truth level and illusion level at the same time. But it's much easier to see this, right? To go with attention there, to see that it is, I don't see any responsible me here. This is a true state. I know that. I know this is a true state. So it must be a belief then, illusion, that I've been taught to believe since I was a child. In this way, they take away the charge of this idea. That's why meditation is so important. That's why we focus so much on both meditation and question beliefs. None of them, in my view, can be separated. They are connected. Without the meditation, you will not have access to the true place. You can't see that it's not true what you believe. It's becoming some kind of new belief system, becomes a philosophy. But without the question of the beliefs, when you're active, only meditating doesn't solve it either. Meditation doesn't take away the belief system. So both are equally important. That's why we do it in this way here. So what about these tools that we are using then? Maybe someone can think. I don't. I hear some kind of question coming in. Someone here. What about the tools that we are using? Where do they fit into this map? Well, when we're not having the awakened state in activity, at least for 1%, we need to have other tools to see this this awakened state in the activity. This is why the tool is so good. How is this moment experienced if I don't believe that I'm not good enough? Something is happening. We're coming back to the present moment. And in the present moment, not only are we feeling much better in the situation, but also we're getting still. And in that stillness, the truth having some kind of momentum, get some fuel. So we are working with it in different angles depending on the person. That's why you have the individual sessions. But of course, there comes a time that we throw away the tools, and some of you have done that, especially on the courses, especially on the recent courses. We throw away the tools at the end because they're not used. You don't need them anymore because we have access to the truth directly, either in the background, in the awakened state, or in oneness. This is our experience in the recent courses. We shall be quite different from the other ones, actually, because we are working differently in them also. As I've been mentioned before, I'm not talking so much. The truth is doing the job. Leave it to the truth to do it in a beautiful way. Just inviting it in a special way that we do. Any other questions for today? Or comments or protests or Merry Christmas or whatever? So, yeah, Amanda wants to say Merry Christmas. No?
No. Merry Christmas and
And, but, you could say but you say actually and, so.
um but um I could you just clarify again about, because there I know I still have this belief as a responsible me. It's a little weaker after the meditation today.
Good.
But you said something
Go to
about,
meditate again then.
yeah, you said something about like the body feeling, can't put it into words, something, well, it was about the two different places of living. So like so obviously stuff's just here, and how I bring in a personal me is thoughts make this thought of a personal me. So is it like watching, so those thoughts are going to come, the feelings are going to come of a personal me. You said almost like the body has its own loop, almost its own belief structures of a personal me. I'm not making much sense, it's really hard. But is it like, because right now that feels a bit less tight, but I know it will become tight again, and I've got this wrong and I shouldn't have done that will come in. So can you, at that moment, is it noticing that system is operating? I don't know how to say it in a dumb.
Yeah, I understand what you mean. So let's put it in this more simple way then, that we have a situation in daily life where we don't feel good, huh? And we don't have to analyze it. When we don't feel good, it's always some kind of personal me belief in the background. Always. That's my experience. I know it sounds so simple. Oh, he's simplifying too much, you know. Okay, he had a PhD in philosophy, but he's simplifying too much. You know? It's actually my experience that all the problems that we have is based on the idea of a person me in the background. We don't even see it. Usually not aware of it at all. Most people are never aware of it. And when we have problems, then if it is available, this awakened stillness state. So my question to you is, because you asked me here, is it in your case so that the stillness is there also during activity, 1% or something in the background, so to speak, or in the foreground or wherever?
A little bit, like even just then when I was talking, I was like, oh no, you can see my dinner plate. So a part of me came in feeling, now you can all see my dinner plate. A part of me, so there is a feeling of space, but also feel this embarrassment. So there's both. There does feel right now, there's kind of both.
Yeah, I know that you have that also. And that is why it's good that you ask this question, because you are now a very good example of how it can really work, not only talk
Yeah.
about it. You have this space available somehow. And in that space, if I ask you now, in that space, do you see any responsible me there?
I feel an embarrassed me. So that is a kind of responsible me. There's an energy of, oh, some shame about my plate. So I can feel that energetically, but there's also
I don't see your plate.
It's here. There's my dinner plate.
Okay, now we all see it, and it's recorded also. It's gonna be on YouTube forever.
You know,
This,
all across the world,
this sounds.
and some Christmas wrap.
Yeah.
I know it's ruined my reputation, and I see clients from this chair, and it's normally spotless.
But in the space, we're not talking about what happens on the experience level. We're not
Yes.
talking, not in the events level, what is happening. In the
Yeah, but
space place, do you
yeah.
see any responsible person there?
So right now, there feels a sense of space.
Mhm.
And there's both here. There's a kind of a sense of space, but there's also, I can feel emotions, some embarrassment, some energy which contracts. So there feels
Mhm.
both a personal me here and a sense of space.
I only asking
Normally, I
about,
don't have the space.
no, but you have access to it easily, don't you? You can,
Yeah,
so to speak, at will, put the attention there, more or less, isn't it so?
yeah, yeah.
In that space only, this is like a courtroom now. I just ask you to to
Go for it.
answer the question, not going out.
Is there a responsible
Yeah,
me?
can you see a responsible me active in the space?
Okay. Right now, no. No. It's
No, there's no grabbing of any responsible me that needs to fix life, and so on and so on and so on. This is a true place. You call space? It's a true place. This is how it is. But then, of
there's
course, you have access to the other level, as you say, or I said, the level of daily activity, where the thinking, where the personal me as a thought is a program which has been running there since childhood. And every experience which is arising is going through this program of a personal me. So
okay.
that
Yeah.
that is there at the same time. Can you see this? You are living on two levels. But,
Okay.
but you are privileged because most people are only living on the suffering level, which is experiences.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
So
there's
when you see that this me is grabbing attention in an uncomfortable way, we're just talking about this example now, not a comfortable way now about Christmas now and so on, running around this pine tree or something. In the uncomfortable, when the me is grabbing attention in an uncomfortable way, stress in the body, emotion reactions, I have to, for instance, I have to fix and so on. Then in that situation, you go directly with your attention to the space. And then you see, but I don't see any fixing me here. I don't see any I have to be here. So my suggestion is try this and see what happens. Now we're a little bit artificial because you're not provoked, probably, challenged so much and so on.
I'm provoked by my place. So
Okay.
I'm doing it now. I can go, I
Yeah,
can feel the programming. My mother would be very distressed if I had my dinner plate there. And I've got a heated jacket on. I feel a bit embarrassed because drawing attention to this glow and people are probably confused. So there's a thing of like, I don't want people looking at me, even though I'm speaking. But I can see both. I can go, okay, this is a strong program that brings contraction in the body.
yes.
And I'm in touch with, so embarrassment, whatever the energy of embarrassment, that's kind of here. It's here.
Yeah. Thousands of
Also,
expressions. Yes.
it's also is it feels like I can separate a bit, like that program's running and there is,
So the space, is it here now? Or
yeah,
can you put the tension on it easily? Yeah, it's here now.
yeah,
And this embarrassed me. Is she there in the space?
a little bit of energy in the body, but no, I probably
Not in the space. Huh? This is it. This is how it works. We just have to decide what is the truth here. Is it what I see in the space, or is it what I believe to be true? So my
Yeah.
last question to you is then, what is your authority then? Where is your authority? Is it in the space, what you see when you observe, investigate, or is it what you think
Ah,
is true?
okay. Well,
You can ponder about that. You don't have to decide now. It's just to put the question to ourselves to understand that we have some kind of, so to speak, choice. Huh? Should I
yeah.
should I trust what I see, when I observe, or should I trust what the thinking has said to me since I was a child?
Yeah.
And you can have another criteria when you are in the space, Amanda. When you are in the space, is that an awful place to be?
No.
No. And when you are in this tension in the body and this a lot of forcing beliefs I have to fix, is that a beautiful place to be? No.
No.
So the choice seems to be simple, huh? To live in the
Yeah.
space.
And I think just want to stay a minute more because something came like in the space. It's interesting because it's like it's just a plate.
Exactly. It's just not in a plate, it's just an experience of a plate.
Yeah, okay. It's a thing. And and it's quite funny because it's like, oh, and I can see all the meaning, all the program. It becomes a bit like in this moment
Mm-hmm.
becomes a bit like an object in the museum.
Yeah,
Like I can look at it and underneath would be written, here is what would be considered in those times a dirty plate. But not,
in Amanda's room.
yeah, but it's like going, not being attached to that being my reality, that being a reality from some time past, if that makes sense, like some historical. So it feels,
So the
yeah,
story is not so serious anymore.
yeah, the story becomes, I see it as a belief system, like in 2024 3, they used to believe this was a dirty plate and it shouldn't be in public.
Yeah.
And so it feels, I see it more as a set of program belief structures around that plate, and there's space.
And
There's
that belief program is part of the show.
part of the show. Yeah, it's part of the show.
Part of the movie that we are looking at.
And there feels some kind of love, a bit more of a feel of well, I was going to say love, but it's more the plate when it's not threatening and embarrassing, it just
Mm-hmm.
is.
It just is. Yeah.
Yeah, it
Yes,
just
yeah.
is, and that feels like it's a just is, has a perfume of love to it.
Beautiful plate, suddenly.
Yeah.
It's not so important because the evaluation of it is not there anymore. So
No.
it's just see that it's just really neutral, huh? It's
Yeah.
just a plate, and guys all can be appreciated. But the light is coming in this way towards it. I see some kind of almost
Yeah.
silver
Christmas
things.
wrapping paper I was going to throw.
And yeah, exactly. That's also beautiful. So we can finally finally, after many years, we can start to appreciate what is coming here every moment. We are giving you gifts not only on the Christmas, we are giving you gifts all the time. And you just, oh, I'm feeling awful. I'm not good enough. And then the space is there already available. And in your case, it's also available in daily activity, which is the most beautiful thing. So you are actually awakened. Congratulations. That is my Christmas gift to you. If the awakened is defined
Yeah.
That space which we see inside our meditation is also somehow in the background, not lost during daily activity, or can be easily accessed, because sometimes it can be totally overshadowed by what is happening. So we can think, oh, is it gone? And then you just one deep breath, and it's back again. So it was not gone really. We don't have to have it all the time, but if we can say that it is there easily accessible after a couple of seconds, then I will call it awakening. And that is also not only my definition, actually. But the most important is that this space, whatever you call it, awareness or whatever, stillness, silence, being, presence, is there also a little bit during daily activity. Then it's much easier to handle this rest of the process. Because we can always go there and see, but this fixing me now, which brings so much tension into my body and brings this emotion upset, and the neighbors, how can they blaming other people? Just go to the space and see it, but I don't see any responsible me here, so there is no responsible me in the neighbors either. They can continue to have discoteca or whatever it is.
And
Always going
well,
home, always going home. When it is, but we can't go do it all the time. It's a full-time job. Huh? So the suggestion is we go home that when it is not most troublesome, when we have most problems, when the me belief is grabbing attention, very uncomfortable, usually as a fixing me or protesting me, or believes that I will not make it, or whatever it is in your everyone's unique case. Then we use this to go to the space, whatever you call it. It's just vanishing, as we just saw an example of just now.
yeah, that's because you're here. But it helped with the play, and it vanished. And obviously it feels very supportive with you holding
Yeah,
that space.
but because you are here, it's just a thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Amanda. Do you have anything more to add?
No, maybe the plate will go viral.
Yeah, it is already viral, actually. We are sending webcast here. So.
I know. You never know. Be the awakening plate. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, man. Very beautiful example. It's not only to talk from here then, but just to see that in you it's actually happening in this way also. And it is possible. If it's possible for Amanda, it is possible for all of us. Not because Amanda is a special case, but because Amanda is a human being and we all are.
I can do it. Anyone can.
Yeah. I knew you would interpret it that way. That's why I tried to make it a little bit longer answer, but it didn't work. Okay.
I know, but
Anyone else having anything else for today? So this is the last group session we have before we go into Sri Lanka tomorrow. We have to go out for visa regulations. Yeah. So we have to go be there for 1 week, but we will continue to have group sessions from Sri Lanka when we have installed ourselves and put some kind of stable internet on the place also. So yeah, just look for the announcement on the Telegram channel and the group chat also. And I will have sessions with Egle and Fritz. So I will start with Egle now. So maybe Fritz will be a little later, then you can calculate it 1 hour from now then, okay? Is it okay? Yeah. Good. And Egle, you can stay here. It's okay?